This is part 11 of my journey through the court system in the state of Connecticut. In the end of part 10, we left off with the hearing that took place on March 9th, 2022, where I was late and Matt showed up with Angelina, and the judge ended up continuing it to June 1st, 2022. I just want to backtrack a little bit before we move past that point because there's a couple things I forgot to mention. So in the end of 2020, Matt Lodice actually called DCF and made a false report about me, and it was unsubstantiated, but he called DCF and made a fake report to try to get me to lose my daughter. This was investigated. They found that everything that he claimed was false. He tried to lie to DCF and he told them that I was operating a drug factory out of my house. The police and DCF showed up to my house, searched my house. They verified that there was no drug factory being operated, and they closed the investigation and nothing was substantiated. Then in the spring of 2021, after I broke up with the guy that I was dating after Matt, things did not end well. We ended on bad terms. And to retaliate, because he was angry that I didn't give him back a table that he gave me as a gift, to retaliate, he called DCF and made another false report about me, claiming that I was claiming the exact same things that Matt claimed in his report from a few months prior. Same thing happened again. This was in May of 2021. The police and DCF showed up at my house unannounced. They wanted to search the house. They're getting reports that there's drugs and all this stuff. All of it was found to be false. So even though those two DCF reports, the one that was made by Matt in 2020, the one that was made by Andrew Marshall in 2021, even though both of those were investigated and found to be unsubstantiated, it was still on the record of DCF that those reports were made, and it shows them as unsubstantiated, but they were still part of the record. So then we talked about how in the end of 2021, Matt stopped paying child support completely. So I forgot to mention that in December of 2021, I filed a motion for contempt for child support for the fact that Matt had completely stopped paying altogether. As soon as Matt got the paperwork and saw that I filed a motion for contempt, he got extremely angry. He told me that he's not going to be paying any more child support at all. And he said to me that he was going to be making it so that he would get custody of Angelina. And he said that I would be the one to pay him child support. So this is the contempt motion that I filed against him on November 30th, 2021, that caused him to get really mad and say that he was going to go after me for sole custody and make it so I would have to pay him. So you can see here, this is what I filed. All I said was that there was an order issued on June 15th, 2021. He's not following it. He was ordered to pay child support, child care, and medical costs. He's refusing to pay. He owes $1,200 in unpaid child support and $221 in unpaid child care. He also hasn't been giving me right of first refusal. So I filed that November 30th, 2021. He got really mad and he said, "Oh, you want to file that? Okay, no problem. I'm not paying any more child support ever again. I'm going to go after you in court. I'm going to get sole custody and you're going to be paying me child support." Also on November 30th, 2021, I filed a motion for modification, which you could see here. So basically, I'm saying that there has been a change in circumstances, that Matthew makes substantially more money and he has been not consistent with his visitation. So I was asking that they order current support, contribute to child care, increase his support, order income withholding, and change our drop-off and pickup location. So that motion for contempt and motion for modification were scheduled to be heard on February 10th, 2022. So on February 7th, 2022, I filed a motion for continuance because I was not able to attend. And this is my motion for continuance here. Reason for continuance: need more time to retain proper counsel. So on February 8th, 2022, Jane Cupson Grossman, the judge who later took away both of my kids, she granted this continuance. So you can see here, it was granted by her on February 8th, 2022. The reason why this is important is because Jane Grossman did not get sworn in as a judge until March 17th, 2022. So she had absolutely no business entering in orders or scheduling anything or doing anything or touching my case at all if it was almost 2 months before she was actually sworn in. So then on February 14th, 2022, I filed a motion for contempt again, and this was the other motion for contempt. So it says, Matthew has refused to give me the right of first refusal in watching our daughter countless times. He has had strangers, his minor children, and others watch our 2-year-old child without giving me the right of first refusal. He refuses to tell me where she is and who she's being watched by, and doesn't give me an option to watch her first. He then, on February 7th, 2022, did not show up at our designated meeting place on our agreement and refused to return the child to me, and currently is refusing to return her to me. He states that he will not follow any part of our agreement. He hasn't paid child support or child care costs in 5 months either, despite them both also being part of our court order. He refuses to make medical educational decisions together like stated in agreement. So then you could see that Jane Grossman signed this, and she scheduled it for a hearing on April 12th, 2022. She signed this on February 23rd, 2022. She was not sworn in as a judge until a month later. So again, she's signing things as a judge. It says signed by the court, judge, and it says her name. She wasn't a judge yet. So again, this is fraud. So then on February 11th, 2022, I filed this application for a restraining order against Matt, saying for the past 4 years, Matthew has been extremely emotionally, mentally, and psychologically abusive toward me. He's called me hateful names, ridiculed me, taunted me, mocked me, threatened me many times. He has shown up at my residence many times uninvited, often intoxicated, and on more than one occasion has broken in. I live in constant paranoia and fear that he is going to try to hurt me. He's told me many times that he wants me to die and has said he will have his friends and neighbors attack me. I've attempted to only speak to him through my mother as a third party, only regarding our minor child, Angelina. However, Matthew has continued to persistently call me, email me, leave me voicemails, call from fake numbers, and tries to show up at my house. I do not want him coming near me or my home. It causes me extreme pain to be around him because every time I've attempted direct contact with him regarding our minor child, he ends up saying vulgar, inappropriate, insulting things to me in the presence of my child. He has continued to say harassing things and make threats to me every time I have met him at the drop-off location and every time I've tried to directly contact him via phone. I've not seen him since December 5th, 2021. I've not spoken to him since January 10th, 2022. During that time, he has tried multiple times to harass me and contact me for reasons that are not regarding our minor child. The extent of the emotional abuse is completely unbearable. I do not want to be around this abuser any longer. My mother can act as a third party to communicate about our minor child only and act as a drop-off pickup point for the child. I want him to stop the abuse and stay away from me and my home. That restraining order application was denied ex parte, and a hearing was scheduled by Jane Grossman, who was not sworn in yet. She scheduled it for February 28th, 2022. So on February 28th, 2022, the hearing took place in New Haven Superior Court in front of Judge Jane Cupson Grossman, who, again, was not sworn in yet as a judge. She was sworn in the middle of March of 2022. So how is she presiding over this restraining order hearing on 2/28/22 when she was not sworn in as a judge until 3/17/22? And for that hearing, I actually did not show up, and she showed up with Matt, and she dismissed it, saying that because I wasn't there, it was being dismissed. And the transcript is here. So this is proof that she was working before she was a judge. Here's her name. They called her Honorable Jane Grossman Judge, but she was sworn in on March 16th. This is her oath of office. Her oath of office was done on March 17th, 2022. The hearing she presided over was February 28th, 2022, before she was sworn in. And all she did is ask him if he saw me. He said no, so she says, okay, you're free to go. Follow for part 12 to see how this escalated beyond repair.